Hello, my name is Sobahat. I'll be taking you on civic education. Our theme is our values, and we'll be looking at the topic national values. National value we'll be looking at is discipline. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the meaning of discipline, list the attributes of a disciplined person, state the benefits of a disciplined behavior, and discuss the consequences of indiscipline on the individual and the society. Our national values are those important beliefs that affect our behavior and relationship with other people. Some national values that we've learned earlier are integrity and commitment. In this lesson, we'll be learning about discipline. Discipline is the ability of a person to obey rules. It's also the act of doing the right thing at the right time without being forced to do so. It makes a person do things according to laid down rules and regulations. Discipline is an act of doing what you know is the right thing, even if you do not want to do it. For instance, when your mom asks you to do a particular chore at home, even if you're tired or you really don't want to do it, but you end up doing it, that is an act of discipline. And discipline shows that we have inner strength. As good citizens of Nigeria, we are expected to always obey the laws of the country. We are also supposed to respect authorities. For example, the government officials, our parents, our teachers, elders, and so on. A group of disciplined people makes a disciplined society. Likewise, a group of indisciplined people also makes an indisciplined society. As students, we are expected to obey the rules and regulations of our school. If we disobey, we will be punished. Punishment is usually used to correct indiscipline or disobedience. Now let's look at the attributes of a disciplined person. There are some attributes that a disciplined person must have. Number one, self-control. Self-control is the ability to stop yourself from doing things that are not right to do. For example, it takes self-control for a driver in a haste to stop when the traffic light says stop, especially when the traffic warden is not in view. Number two, moderation. Moderation is the act of being modest. And modesty comes from the Latin word modestus, which means keeping within measure. This has to do with avoiding to do things in excess. It also means striking a balance in whatever that we do. An example of moderation is in the way we dress. We are expected to dress decently at all times. Number three, perseverance. To persevere means to hold on, to press on, and not to give up or get tired. It is the ability to continue in an action in spite of difficulties or discouragement so that we can achieve success. It also has to do with the ability of not giving up even in the face of setback or failure. For instance, a disciplined student will keep reading even when tired so that he or she can achieve success. Number four, dedication. This is the willingness to give a lot of time, energy, and sacrifice to do something important so you can achieve success. It also means trying over and over again until you achieve your set objective. For example, disciplined students should be dedicated to their studies and any other task they are given at school. Number five, respect for rules and regulations. A disciplined student will always obey the rules and regulations in school. Okay, now let's look at some benefits of a disciplined behavior. Some benefits of a disciplined behavior include the following. 1. It promotes peace and progress in the home, the school, and the country at large. 2. It promotes good governance at all levels of government. 3. It leads to growth and development in the country. Like we said earlier, that a group of disciplined people makes a disciplined society. So if we have disciplined people in a country, it leads to growth of the country and it helps the country to develop and become a better place. Number 4, discipline can reduce the level of corruption to the barest minimum. For example, when we have disciplined people running the government, it reduces the level of corruption to the barest minimum. What are the consequences of indiscipline on the individual and the society? Number 1, indiscipline causes disorder in the home, school, and country. For example, if you have indisciplined students in a school, it leads to the breaking of rules and regulation in that school. And in the country also, when we have indisciplined people in the country, it leads to the breakdown of laws and order in that country. Number 2, indiscipline leads to insecurity of lives and properties of citizens in the country. For example, when we have indisciplined people in the country, it leads to armed robbery, kidnapping, and other social vices. Finally, indiscipline leads to bad governance and high rate of corrupt activities in the country. For example, when we have indisciplined people running the government, it leads to the misuse of public funds, meaning they use those public funds for what they are not meant to be used for. Now we've come to the end of this class, but before we go, let's take a quick summary of all that we've learned. We learned that discipline is the act of doing the right thing at the right time without being forced to do so. We also learned that punishment is usually used to correct indiscipline or disobedience. We also learned some attributes of a disciplined person. We learned about self-control, modesty, dedication, and so on. We also learned that one benefit of discipline is that it promotes peace and progress in the home, school, and the country at large. Finally, we learned that one consequence of indiscipline on an individual and the society is that it leads to the insecurity of lives and properties in the country. Now, let's take a few test questions to test our knowledge on what we've learned. Question 1. Dash makes a person to do the right thing at the right time. A. Discipline. B. Deceit. C. Willingness. D. Strength. The correct answer is A. Discipline. Question 2. Which of the following is not an attribute of discipline? A. Self-control. B. Moderation. C. Perseverance. D. Authority. The correct answer is D. Authority. I hope you can now explain the meaning of discipline and list some attributes of a disciplined person. Hope to see you in my next class. Bye for now.